people also say, why do you have to build such a nice school? And, you know, Timpanogos you just built, that is one nice school, right? So how come, you know, dividing the community, like these examples, you just divided 2 schools, and you're hearing some of those positives, but then also building such a nice school. There's maybe 2 things to talk about.
Well, we're building schools that will last 150 years, and I throw that number out there. I assume they'll be standing after that. They are built so well and with the right commercial type product. We're not, you know, people have brought up, you're putting wool carpet instead of polyester in these buildings, and we kind of get a chuckle out of that because I'm sure our carpet is mostly polyester because thousands of kids walk on it and it lasts 20 years. The carpet at Rocky Mountain Middle School, most of that original carpet is still there, and it's been 20 years now. And the schools are built to a different standard than they were in the 60s and the 70s. And we don't build them to be opulent or nice, we build them to last for a very, very long time. The hallways are made with split-faced block, it's indestructible. There's a tile product that goes on the floor. The ceilings, same thing, it's a commercial grade, very hardy, very resistant to thousands of kids being close by. And those are the type of products we use to build our schools, and we feel like we're doing the very wise and prudent thing by building them that way. And it's no different. Wasatch County doesn't build their schools any differently than Utah County, than Alpine, than Davis, Canyons, Jordan. All of the surrounding districts in this area build their schools very much alike. And our cost is very much alike as well.
You know, some of the things that I've seen on social media is comparing the cost of some of these schools to the cost of what we're proposing for Wasatch High School. And what really people need to understand and look at is some of these schools that they're talking about were actually bid 4 or 5 years ago. For example, one of them was Farmington High School. They've been in school for 2 years now. That means that school was probably bid 5 years ago by the time that they went through the process, or 6, and were built. So it's really not a true comparison. If you really want to compare, look at the current high schools, which on our website we have very good information that shows the most current high schools and what they cost to be built, and we're right in line with that, especially with, again, we'll have some continued increased costs in construction from the time that we bid this until we get them built. The other thing I think it's important to say is that we're in a situation right now, if we can pass this bond, that we will get possibly a 2% rate, which is the lowest it's ever been and may ever be. And that's a critical thing that we need to put out there, that people need to understand.
Tom, if I could follow up on that. The 2 schools that Board Member Baird is referring to are Hillcrest and Brighton. That's the most recent data we have. So when we come up with our number, we do it in a very scientific way. We don't just snatch it out of the sky. And we go to the most recent schools bid, and it would be those 2 schools, and they were bid in 2018. One of those schools came in at 113. The other school,
113 million.
113 million. The other school came in at 117 million. Where our bid will be 2020. So there's a 2-year lag between when they were bid and when we were bid. So it's prudent, it's judicious for us to then add 6% of construction costs, which is what they've been going up by for each one of those years on top of what they have, adjust for size, and that's where we get our number of 115 to 120. And we know that it sounds like a lot of money. It is a lot of money. It's a tremendous amount of money. But that is the going rate for schools today. And any other comparison besides maybe those 2 schools with 2 years of construction costs is a flawed comparison. It doesn't make sense. When our school bids, it'll bid the same price per square foot as most any other school along the Wasatch Front.